What's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Off. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead, hit on subscribe button, hit notification bell every time I post up new content. Yes, tasty beverage. You know, I've been hearing this shit all over TikTok by these people coming up missing, right? Especially this one here, right? They talking about, so according to this woman here, I don't know. I to be perfectly honest with y'all, I truly honestly believe that a lot of these people, they are seriously, they smoking something or drinking something or a combination of both. And I'm gonna tell you what the hell I mean here quite shortly. Hold on, I gotta find it first. First science. You know, it's funny, like I forget, it was one of them damn Scream movies, right? Where they were saying, like, okay, yeah, so okay. So well, yeah, it was one of those Scream movies where they was actually like really talking about the whole art imitating life type deal, right? And then hold on, I forget. I want to say it was the second one where they was talking about all those movies and all that kind of stuff, and they brought up the Terminator. And so hold on. What year? I should have did all this before. Uh, yep. So in either case, right? So um, life imitating art, right? And I'm saying all this to say this. I'm saying all this to say this, people. When you look at what this motherfucker was talking about here, she talking about aliens didn't come from outer space. They were always here. They are us that came from the future. And then so I'm looking at this, right? The very first science fiction movie came out in 1902. The CIA, as well as the Roswell crash, happened 45 years later, right? And then probably the greatest science fiction television series showed up roughly 21 years later. No, 19 years later. Hold on. What? Yeah, 19 years later, right? September 5th, 1966, I want to say, right? So, and to be perfectly honest, I actually really think these motherfuckers, they took what Gene Roddenberry and crew said, right? And then they created, so then they create all this other stuff, so I'm just like, okay, Hollywood is I'm telling you, these some bitches are working. They working overtime, time and a half, triple time. They put like this. They got motherfuckers are working around the clock. Okay, and so she come to talk about, what was it? P47 and then P52, right? So you know what? Hold on. I'm gonna let her tell it to y'all.
So the ultra terrestrials, I'll just tell you, the ultra terrestrials, I think, have you heard of the P52s and the P47s? Do you know what that is? They're us from the future. They're from here. They are you. They are.
Okay, so y'all hear that? Y'all, I want y'all to pay attention to what this motherfucker is saying. All right, now listen to this shit here.
They are me. They're from here, from the future. P47 is present plus 47,000 years. P52 is present plus 52,000 years. And basically there's
okay, so here's the deal, people. And I've said this before, right? 2 Peter 3 and 5. Go and read it. Tell me what it says. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to, y'all, I'll do the shit for you. But the thing about it, though, is this. Go back. Don't take my word for it. Don't take the crazy uncle's word for this. Y'all doggone, go do the research for yourself. It basically says, okay, 1 year is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like 1 day. Something to that nature, right? We don't need no more of this. We don't need no more of this. Okay. So and then so when you take that aspect, right? So she says present plus 52,000 years. And then present 47,000 for your number 5, right? So because I mean, did they tell y'all this? Did they tell y'all this? And then what makes y'all think that this is, what is this? May 4th, 2026. Where's the actual proof of this being May 4th, 2026? Do you actually really know it for sure? Or you just going off what the fuck somebody that told you? Right? Now, for the most part, y'all can sit up here and y'all can clap back if y'all want to say, well, how do you know? Matter of fact, I'll tell you what the actual day is. Right? Hold on. Hebrew calendar. Converter. Okay, so see, this is what the fuck y'all don't do, right? Y'all just take shit and y'all run with it. Now, today, right? May 4th, 2026. Now, I can't pronounce that damn word, right? Hopefully, focus, motherfucker, right? But if y'all saw that, it's the 17th day of LYYAR, and this is the year 5786, right? right? And so, and the new year won't start because the sacred year was the first of last month, April 1st. That's why they call it April Fool's Day. Go over there and read over there in the Bible, Exodus 12th chapter, verses 1 through 4, and then go read Exodus 13:4. Abel, translated, is April, right? Because the thing about it was this: why the fuck y'all gonna sit up here and holler about the January 1st is the start of the new year? How you gonna start something in the dead of winter? And then for the simple fact, look at who January is named after. Janice. That bitch is Two-Faced. They know this. But see, here's the deal. A lot of y'all don't research. Y'all sit up here, y'all celebrate January 1st like it's nobody's business. You motherfuckers will celebrate December 25th like it's nobody's business. Right? Y'all don't know, to be perfectly honest, y'all don't know what time it is, because if you did, you wouldn't be believing that what that bitch said. Right? 2 Peter 3:5. Go read it. Right? And then it's just for the simple fact. So again, let me get this straight now. For the longest, everybody was listening to Charles Darwin. Talking about man evolved from ape. Okay, why are apes still here? If that's where the fuck we come from, or where we evolved from. Why are they still here? So now you gonna tell us not to say that the ape was stupid, right? Not saying that. So you said that we went from ape to this. Now we finna look totally and completely different. We ain't gonna be out in the sunlight. We can't be out in the sunlight no more. Which, for the most part, that actually really sounds familiar to what the fuck is happening with some people right to this day, right? So people that got where, okay, at one point it really didn't fucking matter, right? Now it matters to some people. Now you gonna sit up here and talk about we finna devolve, and then it's just for some fact, right? What the fuck did I just tell y'all? A lot of y'all ain't really thinking that this is May 4th, 2026. I just gave you we're in the year 5786. So again, let's look at this. Look, y'all already know. Y'all already know what's happening. Y'all already know where the fuck I'm going with this. Y'all already know where I'm going with this. So here it is. 5786 minus 2026. So that's 3,760 years behind the goddamn power curve. And and let's not forget about so-called leap year. Hell, it's probably even further than that. Right? Now, I know that a lot of y'all are sitting up here saying, well, you just proving a point. But see, the thing about it, you motherfuckers still stuck on 2026. Just like she was still stuck on 2026. 9 times out of 10, all these motherfuckers that died, right? So-called died, right? $2026, right? And just like I said, I really, this is, I ain't even gonna sit up here and bullshit y'all. This is, in a sense, it's kind of out of the crazy uncle's element. Kind of. But then again, it really ain't. This is my first time. This is my first time. Let's really paying attention to this shit, because they steady throwing it up in my goddamn face. right? But like this, once you actually really know what time it is, what year it is, right? I mean, because and here's how else to fuck y'all head up, right? What we're witnessing, what we're actually really living in right to this day is nothing more than a slowed down version of how it truly is. I mean, think about it for a minute. Think about it for a minute. I just told you what the hell. I just told you what the hell. Oh, what it says over there, 2 Peter 3:5, right? And then if you actually really go back and look at what the hell happened to Moses, right? See, a lot of people want to sit up here and say, well, the earth was created in 6 days. No, it took Moses 6 days to figure out what the fuck was going on, right? And then on top of that, it didn't take Yahweh millions and millions of years to create this shit. All what he had to say, let it be, thus it was. Right? All that damn bullshit ass carbon dating that y'all doing. I'm not buying that shit worth a damn. Just like saying, y'all want to sit up here and holler about man and dinosaurs didn't exist. Don't we live with shit bigger than us? Don't we live with the giraffe, the elephant, the rhino, lions, tigers, bears? Oh my, right? We live with all that shit today. What makes the hell you think that we didn't live with the goddamn dinosaur back then? And if you don't believe me, if you don't believe that man and dinosaur didn't exist, go watch the cartoon, The Flintstones. Dino, what the fuck was he? He was a goddamn dinosaur. A pet dinosaur. The only wrong thing that they actually got, the only wrong thing that they got about that is that man was a hell of a lot taller. At one point, man stood anywhere from 10 to 15 feet tall. Go and again, if you don't want to believe me, go pull up some of these goddamn documentaries where they didn't find human skeletons. Once they stretched that some bitch out, anywhere from 12 to 15 feet tall. Right? So if you're looking at it like that, so if you're looking at it from that aspect, somebody lying some goddamn where. And I'm just here to tell you, is mother, you put like this. And then y'all want they want you to think that these motherfuckers dead. Right? I mean, put like this. You can shut a motherfucker down. And ain't got to kill him. It's just like, put him up. What that over there, another professor? What he tell him, right? He said, I'm going to kill you, right? But I'm not just going to kill you. I'm going to destroy your career. You ain't going to be able to do shit. I can't remember how that shit go, right? Put like this. I may have to actually really come back and actually really revisit this particular subject. So that way I can actually really doggone, hey, really put it out there. But the thing about it though is this. Put like this. If y'all need pictures and motherfucking, ooh, this color is red. Ooh, that color is green. Right? Then okay, y'all slowing it what the fuck I thought y'all were. Right? I'm just saying this right now so that way y'all can actually really go back and look at it. Go research the shit for yourself. Right? It's too easy to motherfucking pull up Hebrew calendar converter. Right? To actually really see what day it is. It's too easy to go pick up the Bible. Not that shit on the goddamn internet. I really would prefer you go get an old school Bible. Just like, for the most part, it's like what my man Dane Calloway said. Put like this. It probably would do you good to go get a old school motherfucking dictionary because they'll change the meanings of words on a motherfucking daily basis, right? Because I remember one time that the word ain't wasn't in the dictionary. Now that motherfucker is in the goddamn dictionary. I wonder why. Because you motherfuckers like to create words, right? Or it's just for the simple fact that this ain't the true language. But then again, I'm not gonna go down that road. I'm not gonna go down that road. At least not on this particular subject here. Right? But I'm just sitting up here thinking, you know, but see, here it is. Motherfucker go fishing. They put the bait. They put the bait on it, right? And it ain't. Shit, I got one. Guess what? Y'all flopping around in the goddamn boat. And then guess who the fuck is really y'all in? The powers that shouldn't be. And then they say, "Oh, we eating good tonight. Look at all this goddamn fish." Right? I'm just telling y'all what's happening. Just like that shit with the mad cow. I told y'all, I mean, I get the fact how I said it was fucked up, right? But you know, I didn't look at it like this. You go look at the drunk person, and then you go look at them, go back and look at them damn cows, how they were. You go look at a drunk person, a real fucked up person. What they gonna do? They stumbled it all over every goddamn thing and they drool it in the mouth. That's all what the fuck them cows was doing. And then depending on how much alcohol that you didn't drink that night, motherfuckers do end up dying. Just put it out there. I'm just putting it out there, people. Put it like that. All that bullshit when they talking. That's exactly what they fucking is. Y'all motherfuckers, put like this. Science fiction. Right? If you actually want to stop and think about it, it's only 124 years old, people. Now let that sink in. Let that sink in. Right? And you know, and just for the simple fact, right? Listen, if y'all want to come back and combat the crazy uncle of anything with the fuck I just said, hey, by all means, do so. I will invite it. I will invite it, right? You know, but I was like, I'm not buying none of this shit what they talking about here. How we go from 8? How are we going to evolve from 8 according to Charles Darwin? How are we going to evolve from 8? Come to this. And then we're going to go back to something rather fucked up. And then who's to say? And see, here's another thing too. What a lot of motherfuckers really didn't take in consideration, right? Yahweh in pure spirit don't look like this. Incomprehensible and inscrutable. Meaning you don't know what the fuck he looked like in pure spirit. He chose this form, not that ugly shit what y'all talking about. Okay? And then it's just for the simple fact, who said that the goddamn alien had to look like that? Right? To be perfect honest, you know what? I'll say this much here. Let's just say that these are all of the doggone babies that was ill deformed. And y'all threw them in the trash. Thinking that they was dead. Right? And just know for whatever reason, them motherfuckers survived. Right? And that's why they look the way that they look. Talking about some of them on the ground. Okay. All right. All right. So, with that being said, guess what the fuck y'all get to do? Tell your mama, tell your daddy to be birthday your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door, across the street, right the corner. Carlos Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. I'm gonna holler at y'all.